And that's when business will resume. And before the break, the House was considering the Green Economy and Climate Change Bill, National Assembly Bill number 18 of 2024, which is being considered at second reading stage. And we've seen quite a number of MPs actually add their voice regarding this particular bill. And just before the break on the floor of the House was Chilubi Member of Parliament, Mr. Kube, debating this particular bill, so we're expecting to finish off his thoughts. Just now, we introduce you to what's happening in the chamber. Good afternoon. She's standing up.
Now we are reducing on the numbers again. Up to now. It's okay. Order, honorable members. When business was suspended, the House was considering the second reading stage of the Green Economy and Climate Change Bill, National Assembly Bill number 18 of 2024, and the honorable member for Chilubi was debating. May the honorable member continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Before we went on break, the people of Chilubi were trying to say that there is need that this bill would have been separated in a way or the other. And I think the people of Chilubi have this to say about the bill. If you look at parts from part 1 to part 4, it's tackling mainly mitigation measures that are supposed to go towards climate change, the real climate change we'll talk about. From part 5 to part 7, you find that it's talking mainly about carbon markets and many other factors. The people of Chilubi would like to submit that would have been created in a different bill, because you are more like giving with one hand and taking away with another one, because the activities that are supposed to go into part 5, part 6, and part 7 are more commercial, and they have to be scrutinized in a different manner as opposed to the activities that fall under the 4 parts. The 4 parts are really consolidating the real climate change mitigation as we know it. Madam Speaker, the people of Chilubi would like to further say that the collapsing of the Zambia Environmental Management Agency as taking the responsibility of greenhouse gas inventory management system is a bit misplaced, because when we look at this, the bill would have created a different task force. In this case, it would have even created a different vehicle to implement the good suggestions that the bill has, as opposed to, again, burdening the Zambia Environmental Management Agency, because what we are talking about now is a broader aspect that also interfaces with the global climate as it may be. Madam Speaker, the people of Chirubi would also like to further support what is in part 9, which comprises section 34, 35, and 36, because of the fund, the climate fund that is being created there, and the enshrined components that takes on board. I will be doing my people a service, Madam Speaker, to, if I didn't mention that most of the activities that are happening in Chirubi are happening around the ecological system. And if they're happening around the ecological system, I would not come here to start promoting and bend more on carbon markets when the bill from first part to part 4 has taken care of my people's interest. On that note, Madam Speaker, I would like to suggest that the ministry should, the sponsoring ministry of this bill, should consider separating the bill from part 4, part 1 to 4. It becomes the green economy and the climate change, because it takes up that. And another bill should be brought to the House on that has to do with carbon markets, because there will be conflicting interests in the same bill, because you can't have agencies implementing different things. The other agencies are implementing prevention measures and the like, and the other one is taking on board the commercial interest. With those words, Madam Speaker, the people of Chirubi would like to submit that they support the bill, but with those reservations.
Thank you, honorable members. I've seen that the list is growing, but we have so much work to do. So for me to be able to allow all the honorable members to debate, one, if we agree that we don't repeat what the other honorable members have already mentioned, and two, we cut our time from 8 minutes to 4 minutes. Is it agreed? If it's not agreed, I'll only allow 2 more people. Agreed. So the honorable member for Chama South.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And thank you, Honorable Minister, for bringing this bill so timely. Madam Speaker, I know that as third world or developing countries, our contribution to global warming is extremely low. Much of it has to do with a change of land use, that is from a natural habitat into agriculture. That is what has been affecting our environment. This being real, Madam Speaker, if you check a lot of communities, go to Southern Province, go to areas where we are experiencing serious droughts, much of these areas have been devastated by cutting down, indiscriminate actually cutting down of trees. Honorable Minister, how I wish this bill was very systematic in addressing the sharing mechanisms when it comes to carbon credit exchange. I say so where this has been piloted. I know my constituency is one of those that were piloted for carbon exchange. If you look at the beneficiation to the local people, it's something that, Honorable Minister, I believe in actual implementation you need to work out. For example, Unda's forest, 90% of it, if not 100% of it, is in Chama. But Chief Chifunda, Chief Chikwa, and Chief Tembwe were not benefiting from the carbon credit arrangement. It was other chiefs. As a result, protection of our natural habitat becomes a problem. So as you do the implementation, ensure that community itself, not only chiefs, but the community itself that protects this, natural habitat, particularly our forests, see the benefits. I think when the people see the benefit, Madam Speaker, they will protect the environment. In conclusion, Madam Speaker, it is my appeal that if this is to become a reality, there is need to reorient the mind of a lot of forest officers. Where there is deforestation, especially illegal timber logging, you'll find that it is aided and abetted by the forest officers. Those that are genuinely doing the work, they become victims. So for us to protect the environment, Honorable Minister, there is need to have real people who would want to conserve as forest officers. This is a good bill, and it has come at the right time. I know challenges as they will come, we'll be able to come and amend it as we implement the bill. I support on behalf of the people of Chama South, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Confianso.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, from the onset, I want to indicate that as I was reading the bill and the report, I noticed, Madam Speaker, that since this is a new law, it is possible that we have tried to put literally everything into one law. But ideally, Madam Speaker, we may need, as we go forward, to separate the issues so that when we begin assigning duties to implement what is in the law, Madam Speaker, we don't have a conflict between two government agencies trying to do the same thing. And I'm sure, Madam Speaker, from your report, which is the one we are attending to today, you have been informed, Madam Speaker, that we have different ways of approving what will be applied for by various stakeholders. And that is why from the onset, Madam Speaker, I want to emphasize that ideally we should have had one law dealing with issues to do with climate change. We should have had another law, Madam Speaker, dealing with issues to do with the green economy in general, so that the focus on those that will be mandated in each law, Madam Speaker, is very clear. Nonetheless, Madam Speaker, considering that this is one of the new laws that we are coming up with, obviously we have a duty to support what has been proposed. Secondly, Madam Speaker, coming from a constituency where we have a lot of people that are currently venturing into charcoal burning, and this is what I've been trying to emphasize, Madam Speaker, every time I'm given an opportunity to speak on this topic. It's the issue of what method or strategy are we using to convince the people at a local level. Because, Madam Speaker, it's very easy. Those that get the opportunity to travel for COP20, COP29, whatever numbers are there, it is easy for those who travel in these huge conferences, Madam Speaker, to agree that the agenda for climate change is real. Those who agree because they've been enlightened. But for a local person, Madam Speaker, Mwekera Forest in Kamfinsa, Madam Speaker, has got farmers in Katoka Mema, has got farmers in Kakolo. Their expectation, Madam Speaker, is that that little piece of land they've been given, even without ownership documents, they will be able to use it to earn some economic activities. And that is why, for me, Madam Speaker, this law that we are approving today, it's a good law because it speaks to general issues. But we seem not to have a strategy, Madam Speaker, to convince people to migrate from what they've been accustomed to for many years. For many years, Madam Speaker, the local people, I'm aware that in Kalabo there's a forest. The Member of Parliament last year came with a request that we allow people to settle there. The reason is very simple. As far as they are concerned, that is where they undertake their economic activity. What am I trying to say, Madam Speaker, for avoidance of doubt? We need to agree that as much as on paper everything looks like this is a good starting point, how then do we ensure, Madam Speaker, that the people in our local areas actually do benefit? And that is why in other jurisdictions, Madam Speaker, the strategy is direct benefits to the people. Not you go and build a school, Madam Speaker, as an investor, and you tell the local people, stop cutting down trees because we've built a school for you. Unfortunately, Madam Speaker, immediately you do the school, the following day, our local people will go back to what they do. Because these are issues of bread and butter, Madam Speaker. And that is why, for me, as I support the report and the bill that has been August House, Madam Speaker, we want that develop a local strategy to empower our people. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honourable Member from Bavala.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for allowing the good people of Mbabara to have an opportunity to support this very progressive law on green economy and climate change in Zambia. Madam Speaker, the UPND government is very clear in its manifesto and in all its pronouncements that green economy and climate change are real issues for our environment and indeed for development in Zambia. It is from this fact that from day one, the Ministry of Green Economy was actually put in place, which showed that the UPND New Dawn government was very much on top of things. And it is from these actions, which including the various COP meetings that even you yourself, Madam Speaker, though not drawing you into the debate, has led a delegation to one of the COPs. And we have learnt as a country brilliantly on how to handle issues of climate change and the development of the green economy, where we are going to get a lot of value as a country because we are developing and we are a developing nation. Therefore, the people of Mbabara do support this progressive bill because as a constituency, Madam Speaker, as you know, we've been prone to a lot of disasters in terms of the issues of rain floods, as well as the issues of tree cutting or deforestation in various parts of the constituency, where we have lost a lot of trees and the charcoal burning is rampant as a major source of both electricity as well as the income for the people involved. And so, with the work of our chiefdoms, His Royal Highness Chief Mapanza, Chief Macha, they are also very concerned about this, and they will be very happy to see that we are coming up with this law that is going to bring about regulation in the area of climate change and green economy. I would like to urge some innovations that include the local community to participate in the processes that are being proposed in this bill, especially the area of empowerment, as echoed by some of the speakers, that this is an area where we need to work very hard, and the capacity building, Madam Speaker, of the carbon credit fund that needs to be taken forward in terms of a lot of community sensitization and education so that communities can know how they can benefit from this fund and utilize it, as well as building the capacity of the other players. The demand in our villages is huge, and our communities will need to be part and parcel of this for us to be able to stop the whole business of tree cutting. And there is one innovation in Choma from one NGO there, which is running a program around the briquettes, production of briquettes. This is a wonderful program which we need to embrace and take forward so that we can be able to help our communities replace charcoal and firewood with briquettes and something that is renewable. And it is those kinds of innovations that we want to see, apart from the tree planting and many other measures that are put in place to ensure that we preserve our economy. We're having rain challenges. It is because we do not have enough trees. And therefore, in line with even your initiative here at Parliament to plant, is it 1 million trees? I can't remember the target. We support this bill and wish to see the best for our country so that we can restore ourselves in terms of our agricultural strength by having a very good green economy that creates jobs for our people and makes us sustainable in our livelihoods. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Kabwe Central.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. Allow me to highlight just few points coming from the bill. It's the aspects of monitoring, reporting, and verification as outlined in Section 18 of the Green Economy and the Climate Bill. This section establishes the integrated measuring, reporting, and the verification system, which is the MRV, under the Department of Green Economy and Climate Change. This system is fundamental element for our national climate strategy, and it is designed to monitor essential data, including greenhouse gas emission, migration and adaptation actions, climate finance, and the capacity building, and of course technology transfer. However, while the registration mandates public and private bodies to submit data to the system, it lacks clarity, Madam Speaker. So the clarity on whether this obligation extends to the community involvement in data collection, and also it is also incorporating community data could significantly enhance the accuracy and ownership of environmental data management. Further, even if the bill also facilitates the climate change register, the register is not easily accessible, for it is only available during working hours. I recommend that this system, MVR system, should be, of course, enhanced, and it should include clear standards for data collection, establishing and secure and decentralized for database, ensuring that there is straightforward and access to non-sensitive data, and providing training for all stakeholders. I know that the bill also mandates the minister to come up with regulations to make sure that all these gaps are addressed. So I urge the minister going forward that he should be able to come up with SIs that will address these gaps in terms of community participation in data collection, and also in the management of the MRV system. Madam Speaker, I submit. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Matero.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity to the good people of Matero to speak, although we have no more trees left there. So it gives me the opportunity to talk about this very important bill. Honorable Minister, thank you for bringing this bill. Your Worship, Mike Imposha. It's long overdue, Madam Speaker. This issue...
Oh, the Honorable Member, do we have mayors in this House?
The Minister, Madam Speaker, the Minister of Green Economy, Honorable Mike Imposha, former Mayor of Lusaka. Madam Speaker, this topic is very cardinal, Madam Speaker. The topic speaks to Africa and speaks to Zambia. Madam Speaker, the issue of carbon credit is a global syndicate. As I speak, Madam Speaker, let me preempt that I support this bill. It's timely, but I wanted to buttress on the underlying...
Honorable Member for Matero, there is an indication for a point of order. Honorable Minister of Information and Media, what's the point of order?
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity that I raise on this very important point of order. As you know me, I don't stand on points of order. unless it is so compelling and essential that it becomes impossible for me to watch the House deteriorate by the very conduct of a member on the floor of the House. Madam Speaker, in terms of and in keeping with the traditions and culture of this august House, your members, Madam Speaker, address each other as honorable members, and you have time and again worked so hard to remind the members that this is Parliament and not any other affiliation or group. Is the former mayor for Lusaka, in order to refer to the Honorable Member of Parliament for Munali as a former mayor, when you have guided repeatedly as to how we must address each other in keeping with the decorum of this House. Madam Speaker, I need your serious ruling whether the former mayor for Lusaka is in order. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. That point of order defeats your whole point of order. So the Honorable Member for Matero was duly guided. I think maybe he was playing a cousinship with the Honorable Minister. I think it was on a lighter note. May the Honorable Member for Matero continue as guided.
Most obliged, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I was saying this carbon credit topic, it emanates from treaties signed out there in Europe, where in Dubai and elsewhere, they had to cut their trees or they sign we should not emit gas. But to do that, they need to stop industries from producing fertilizer, whatever it is. So they've agreed, okay, go to Africa, tell Africa not to, so that we can now be in compliance with this treaty. And with that, they are able to access loans from banks, millions and billions of dollars. Some banks like Agricon, they tie in that you must show that you are not cutting trees. So they've done a reverse psychology, come to Africa and say, we have bought this land, there's so many trees, 1 million trees in this piece of land, will not cut it, but allow us to continue our industry. Madam Speaker, this bill is vital because the conduct of our colleagues in Europe borders on the matters of sovereign. The matters, that's sort of virtual colonization. So if they come in Southern Province or Central Province, they are able to clip even 1 million hectares of land, and they say, oh, trees in here, nobody should cut them. Then they are compliant out there and they are accessing money. Meantime, they're even zooming from the space. You cut one tree, they call you, you've broken the law. So that's virtual colonization. So this bill is cardinal, Madam Speaker. It's timely, and we should all support it, and we are supporting it, but with a caveat. I want to read on page 20 of the bill, where on part 4, carbon markets. 23A1 says a person shall not trade in carbon without a certificate of authorization issued under this act. 2, a person who contravenes section 1 commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 500,000 penalty units or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 years or both. Madam Speaker, 3 years is nothing to this matter. We've had a lot of briefcase traders here in between Zambia and Europe, and they've made huge amounts of money in dollars. They pose there that they are agents for Zambia and sell our land even before we know it, and they are making a lot of money. So I thought 3 years was nothing. We should increase it to 10 years so that we keep all those briefcase millionaires making money on our trees in Zambia, where our people, where the trees are suffering, and nobody owns that land, but they own it virtual. So the bill is good, but the term of 3 years, punishing anyone selling our land without proper authority, we should increase it to 10 years. Madam Speaker, finally, also I see in here on the process how to acquire that license. I want to submit, this matter borders on the Constitution of Zambia, on the sovereignty of this country. People are selling our land virtually. Maybe we should include in this bill that permission should be sought from this House. For anyone that is looking to get that license to trade for Zambia, on Zambia out there, for our land, you can't cut the trees, meaning farmers cannot go there, be it in Chama, where the chief was.
Kindly wind up, Honorable Member, we are running out of time.
Be it wherever, you can't cut the trees, the villagers can't cultivate, so that land is eclipsed and put away. So if somebody has to be given a license, they need to be trustworthy and their application brought to this House so that we debate them and approve them. That's my submission, Madam Speaker, and with that I support this bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Minister of Green Economy and Environment, winding up debate.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to further thank you for allowing as many members of Parliament to debate on this very important bill, but also to, through you, Madam Speaker, to thank all the members of Parliament who added their voices to this very important bill. I take note of the following: Honorable Mawonga, Honorable Bino Mpundu, Honorable Mwamba, Honorable Fuve, Honorable Mungandu, Honorable Kangombe, Honorable Musanje, Honorable Piri, Honorable Mao Sampa. In certain sections of our province is known as Midas, Honorable Mao Sampa. To all of you, I've taken note of your very important points. Madam Speaker, the issue of exploitations, our locals being exploited, we've taken note of that, and this is why this bill is being brought into to the House to be enacted, so that carbon trade is no longer being done on a voluntary basis, but it must be regulated. I've also taken note of the concerns that there may be some conflict between the EMA Act as well as the Forestry Act with the Green Economy and Climate Change Law. Madam Speaker, I want to assure your members through you that we will harmonize. We should be able to review the EMA Act as well as the Forestry Act so that it's harmonized with the new law. The observation on the certain key ministries, Madam Speaker, was also highlighted by your honorable committee. We've taken note and we've also made a written response on the thinking of the ministry around these issues. And we agree with the committee as well as the members who also raised the issue of other key ministries that seemingly were left out. And in agreeing, Madam Speaker, we agree that we should be able to make amendments to add those key ministries. Among them is Technology and Science, Ministry of Tourism, as well as Ministry of Local Government. So that, Madam Speaker, will be taken into account. Madam Speaker, there was an issue of the approval processes, which were mistaken to be a three-layer approval process. I want to say that the approval process is basically a two-layer process, whereas the verifier component is an external issue where the auditors will merely come and work with the project implementers to verify the calculations. So that is an external function. It's not part of the approval process. So we want to assure the Member of Parliament who raised this issue that we took that into account, and I think the process will be smooth as you just have to go through the two processes. Madam Speaker,
The issue of bringing in expertise for verifying as verifiers, yes, I totally agree that there's need to bring in experts who will be able to verify the proposed projects. And yes, we want to encourage that there should be more experts to come and help us to do the verification. So the ministry will be encouraging many players to come in and ensure that the correct or right experts are invited to assist in the verification. The issue of benefit sharing mechanism, there's been a concern that it's not properly highlighted. Madam Speaker, I want to emphasize the fact that the projects vary, the sizes of the projects vary, and because of that, the ministry thought that it would be wise to put the benefit, to highlight or elaborate the benefit sharing mechanism in the SI. So it is my intention, Madam Speaker, to introduce an SI after this bill is enacted, which will elaborate a number of components ranging from the issues of data, but also the issues of how the sharing of the proceeds will be done. So there will be an SI to reinforce this act. Madam Speaker, I have taken note of also the issue of the lamentations on lack of proper benefits, or indeed poor or low benefits, particularly on the locals. Again, this is the main objective of also this bill, to ensure that we properly regulate carbon trading, and also we ensure that the people are not disadvantaged. So over and above, Madam Speaker, I want to thank your members of Parliament, all of them, for ably supporting this bill, and will do everything possible to ensure that we incorporate all the views that have been put before the House. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. I put the question. The question is that the bill be now read a second time. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Contra say no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. It will be read a second time.
The Green Economy and Climate Change Bill, National Assembly Bill number 18 of 2024.
Committee stage to be taken when?
Madam Speaker, tomorrow, 4th December 2024.
Committee stage to be taken tomorrow, Wednesday, 4th December 2024. Next order.
The Plant Health Bill, National Assembly Bill number 20 of 2024, second reading.
The Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the bill be read a second time.
The question is that the bill be now read a second time. Any debate? The Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Madam Speaker, the Minister of Agriculture is proposing to introduce a bill in Parliament to repeal and replace the Plant Pests and Disease Act, Cap 233, in order to update the regulations and protocols on control of pests and diseases, plant quarantine, and international trade, including the domestication of the harmonized seed regulations on quarantine, phytosanitary measures, and the international standards for phytosanitary measures. Madam Speaker, the current Plant Pests and Disease Act, Cap 233 of the laws of Zambia was enacted in 1958 to provide for the eradication and prevention of the spread of plant pests and diseases in Zambia, and for the prevention of and introduction into Zambia of plant pest diseases. However, The plant health landscape in Zambia has evolved significantly over the past 66 years, and the Act is no longer sufficient to address the current challenges faced in the plant health landscape. Currently, Zambia is faced with significant challenges due to the increasing threats posed by pests and diseases. These threats compromise Zambia's food security, market access, socio-economic stability, environmental health, technological advancements, and export competitiveness on the global market. Madam Speaker, the principles of the Plant Health Bill are A, to protect plant resources by prevention of the introduction of alien invasive species, B, provide the functions of the Plant Quarantine and Phytosanitary Services Department, C, provide for the registration of pest controllers and plant-related structures in order to smoothly facilitate trade, and D, regulate imports and exports to prevent the introduction of sprays and diseases. E, give effect to the International Plant Protection Convention established in 1952, to which Zambia, Madam Speaker, is a party. And F, repeal the Plant Pest and Disease Act of 1958. And G, provide for matters connected with or incidental to the foregoing. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Any further debate? The acting chairperson of the Committee on Agriculture, Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Member for Mfue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in accordance with its terms of reference, as set out under Standing Orders 206A and 207J of the National Assembly of Zambia Standing Orders 2024, the committee considered the Plant Health Bill, National Assembly Bill number 20 of 2024. In order to appreciate the ramification of the bill, the committee interacted with stakeholders who tendered both written and oral submissions before it. Madam Speaker, as the House may be aware, the regulatory framework for protecting cultivated and wild plants is inadequate in responding to issues relating to plant health in the country. As a result, the Plant Health Bill, National Assembly Bill number 20 of 2024, has been presented to the National Assembly for enactment into law. Madam Speaker, it is envisaged that once the bill is enacted, it will strengthen and promote the effective regulation of plant health and address the evolving challenges of contemporary agricultural trade facilitation and phytosanitary matters. Madam Speaker, the committee supports the bill, but it has made some observations and recommendations which I now highlight. Madam Speaker, the committee is concerned that although 35 prevention of invasive alien species, this provision is limited in terms of controlling species such as Lantana camara, which are already in the country. The committee therefore recommends that the bill be amended to include a provision that addresses the threat of invasive alien species of flowers which are already in the country. Further, it is the view of the committee that the law should list prohibited invasive alien species in homes and public places and empower relevant authorities to remove and destroy them when it is necessary to do so. Madam Speaker, another issue that caught the attention of the committee is the lack of knowledge and information about phytosanitary processes and related services among some key stakeholders. The committee is of the view that the lack of information may disadvantage users such as transporters, custom officers, farmers, extension officers, inspectors, and many other interested groups. In this regard, Madam Speaker, the committee is strongly recommending that the government should conduct robust sensitizations and awareness programs, especially among users such as transporters, custom officers, farmers, extension officers, and inspectors, among others. The committee further recommends that the government should develop a phytosanitary information management system that will serve as a repository for pest information. Madam Speaker, the committee also observes that Part 6 of the bill prohibits the exportation of a product, plant products or article without a phytosanitary certificate. Madam, the committee is concerned about how difficult it will be if the import and export process shall be done manually or on a separate platform by one institution, as it will result in unnecessary delays and loss of documents. In this regard, Madam Speaker, the committee recommends that all the processes from the application for permits, inspections, export and import of a plant products or articles should be automated and integrated in a single window under the coordinated border management system. Madam Speaker, in conclusion, allow me to render my sincere gratitude to you, the Clerk of the National Assembly and his staff, for the guidance and support services rendered to the committee throughout its deliberations. Further, the committee wishes to thank all the stakeholders who made submissions to it during consideration of the bill. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Further debate. The Honorable Member for Chilubi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving the people of Chilubi the opportunity to debate on this bill. Madam Speaker, the people of Chilubi first would like to register that this particular bill cannot come at a good time than this one, especially that technologies have changed and a lot of things and the pests that have been introduced on the market which attack our plants. Madam Speaker, having said that, the people of Chilubi would like also to say that there is need to intertwine this particular bill with the Biosafety Act that we already have, though the Biosafety Act seems to be addressing the issue of genetically modified. But you find that in some way they share a particular intersection set, especially on issues to do with plant, as it is defined in the bill. Madam Speaker, the people of Chilubi would like to also concentrate on the issues of pests. The issue of pests, which include, among other things, pest outbreak, including issues like pest-free areas, also pest risk analysis, and many other factors. Madam Speaker, the issue of pest control come into bone in the mind of the people of Chilubi, in that when you look at part 3 of the bill, it's addressing of issues of registration of pest controllers. When you look at the definition of pest in the bill, I'm sure, in summary, I can just say that these are pathogenic agents that can affect plants in a way. And this means that when there is an outbreak, whether pandemic, epidemic, or any other volume, this would affect that the people that will control in any area will be required to register as pest controller. Madam Speaker, as we speak, when we look at the definition of plant and plant products, a lot of people in Zambia have got pest controlling material, including those for spray and many other. And in my view, those are controlling pests, because the definition of pest here entails that the spread of those, and we have this issue of sharing plants. I would give my neighbor, and my neighbor would give like that, and so forth. The acting chairperson did address issues of phytosanitary concerns, meaning that if we do not take care of pest control at homestead level, we are likely to spread the pests as it may be. Madam Speaker, we want to say that we need to free and relax on the issue of pest control, because it will be that some people are going to be paying fines if they have to take it upon themselves to spread farms in order to control pests, because I'm having in mind the definition of a plant as well as plant product. They may be found wanting with this all. Madam Speaker, the people of Chilubi would also want to bring to attention that currently we do not have plant quarantine and the phytosanitary services department spread out of throughout the country. Meaning, Madam Speaker, that what is in Section 3 may affect a lot of factors if we do not put in place many other measures, especially that we don't have a centralized system that monitor issues to do with plant health. And this may mean that different points of entry of these plants and plant products are not going to be monitored properly. I know that a law may come and then an infrastructure can be developed thereafter, but I think this is a caution that the people of Sri would like to provide, that we need to pay attention to points of entry, especially when it comes to circulation of plants, so that we take care of plant health. Madam Speaker, whereas it is important that we emphasize on the need of laboratories, I do note that research centers that are concentrating on plants countrywide, I think they do not even beat the number 10 countrywide. And then we have 116 districts which is dealing with plants. Because when we are talking about plant health, we are technically dealing with life. We are talking about maize, we are talking about groundnuts and many other factors. So this being the case, it is important that somehow we would have swept the law of the local government, which role they will play in making sure that plant health is properly attended to. Because you will be missing a point. If we are to leave this purely to the Minister of Agriculture, which I do understand they have extension officers, it will mean that we have to do the retraining, especially with the other mode that has been introduced, which is emphasizing more on extension officers. That has to be monitored, because without monitoring, we'll be shooting in the dark with this particular bill, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the people of Truby would also like to look at Section 37 on the declaration of phytosanitary emergency. When we look at this particular declaration, Madam Speaker, it will mean that there will be need to do proper phytosanitary analysis, which will include that we have to get data at very grassroots levels. But when you look at the way the bill has been structured, Madam Speaker, from page 1 to the last page, it's bottom up. It's not, it's up bottom. It's not bottom up. It is just reading director this, director that, director this, director that. Meaning that the flow of information and triggering what should be investigated will be coming from a directorate that will be created, and that directorate has to trigger an alarm, even early warning, in line with plant health, which the people of Turbi find it a problem, and it may not affect Section 37 properly, because Section 37 will depend on what is going to be picked on the ground and by the grassroots. As this is a top-heavy bill that is emphasizing much on the directorate, and the directorate has to trigger everything, including the issue of laboratories in Section 10, Madam Speaker, has to be done by the directorate. We all know that personnel is not widespread, and looking at these factors, Madam Speaker, we know that there are a lot of iron issues. The people of Surubi have already submitted that the decentralization of plant quarantine and the phytosanitary services department at district level would help, and especially making sure that the infrastructure is created around this, because it will be very difficult to implement this bill. Madam Speaker, with all that said, the people of Surubi would like to support this bill. It has come at the right time. There is need that we monitor biosafety of our plants, but with the reservations that we have made, I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Minister of Agriculture, winding up debate.
Madam Speaker, I thank you, and I would like to sincerely thank Honorable Maureen Maonga for giving us input, and take note of the 2 points that she has raised, which are very important. The issue that we have some invasive plants which are within the country, and how we will eradicate this, and the issue of awareness. We thank you for that. We also take cognizance, Madam Speaker, of what Honorable Fube has said. I would like to give him comfort, though, that the PQPS is quite decentralized. Almost all the critical borders, PQPS is there. But we can have debate on that. But thank you for making us aware that we need to further decentralize PQPS and enhance the staffing levels at district and other levels. Madam Speaker, having said that, the enactment of the Plant Health Bill has several positive implications that are of benefit to Zambia, including the following. One, the bill will address the limitations of this old Act of 1958. Number two, the bill will provide enhanced facilitation of safe local and international trade of plant-based products and other articles. Number three, the Plant Health Bill will also provide a framework that will strengthen our plant health and phytosanitary systems by aligning them to international practices. Therefore, the enactment of the Plant Health Bill 2024 will enable Zambia to effectively and efficiently enforce regulation on plant health, which is one of the key drivers of agricultural productivity. Plant pests and diseases are rated among the main causes of crop production losses, and therefore, if not adequately addressed, can lead to several challenges, including food insecurity, increased poverty levels, loss of trade, and reduced economic growth, among others. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. I put the question. The question is that the bill be now read a second time. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Of the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Let the bill be read a second time.
The Plant Health Bill, National Assembly Bill number 20 of 2024.
Committee stage to be taken when?
In due course, Madam Speaker.
Committee stage to be taken in due course. Next order.
The Zambia National Public Health Institute Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 15 of 2024, committee stage.
I now consolidate orders number 3, 4, and 5. The House will now resolve into committee.
Order. The Zambia National Public Health Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 15 of 2024. Clause 1, short title. Any debate? Any objection? Clause 1 is agreed to. Clause 2, amendment of Section 2. Any debate? Any objection? Clause 2 is agreed to. Clause 3, amendment of Section 4. Any debate, any objection? The question is that Clause 3 stands part of the bill. The Honorable Minister of Health.
Madam Chairperson, I beg to move that Clause 3 be amended with words as circulated.
The question is that Clause 3 be amended with words as circulated. Any debate, any objection? Amendment is agreed to. Clause 3 as amended. Any further debate? I put the question. The question is that Clause 3 as amended stands part of the bill. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Of the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Clause 3 as amended is ordered to stand part of the bill. Long title. Any debate? Any is agreed to. The bill will be reported to the House as having passed through the committee with amendments. The Judiciary Administration Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 16 of 2024. Clause 1, short title. Any debate and objection? Clause 1 is agreed to. Clause 2, amendment of section 23. Any debate and objection? Clause 2 is agreed to. Long title, any debate and objection? Long title is agreed to. The bill will be reported to the House as having passed through the committee without amendments. The last bill, the Zambia Institute of Quantity Surveyors Bill, National Assembly Bill number 19 of 2024. Clause 1, short title, any debate and objection? Clause 1 is agreed to. Clause 2, interpretation, any debate and objection? The question is that Clause 2 stands part of the bill. The Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development.
I beg to move that Clause 2 be amended with words as circulated.
The question is that Clause 2 be amended with words as circulated. Any debate, any objection? Amendment is agreed to. Clause 2 as amended. Any further debate? I put the question. The question is that Clause 2 as amended stands part of the bill. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Of the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Clause 2 as amended is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 3, continuation and renaming of Quantity Surveyors Registration Board. Any debate and objection? Clause 3 is agreed to. Clause 4, functions of institute. Any debate and objection? Clause 4 is agreed to. Clause 5, constitution of institute. Any debate and objection? Clause 5 is agreed to. Clause 6, President, Vice President, and other office bearers. Any debate and objection? Clause 6 is agreed to. Clause 7, meetings of institute. Any debate and objection? Clause 7 is agreed to. Clause 8, council of institute. Any debate and objection? Clause 8 is agreed to. Clause 9, functions of council. Any debate and objection? Clause 9 is agreed to. Clause 10, registrar and other staff. Any debate and objection? The question is that Clause 10 stands part of the bill. The Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development.
I beg to move that Clause 10 be amended with words as circulated.
The question is that Clause 10 be amended with words as circulated. Any debate and objection? Amendment is agreed to. Clause 10 as amended. Any further debate? I put the question. The question is that Clause 10 as amended stands part of the bill. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Of the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Clause 10 as amended is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 11, establishment of Quantity Surveyors Registration Board. Any debate and objection? Clause 11 is agreed to. Clause 12, functions of board. Any debate and objection? Clause 12 is agreed to. Clause 13, prohibition of person practicing without registration. Any debate and objection? Clause 13 is agreed to. Clause 14, application for registration. Any debate and objection? Clause 14 is agreed to. Clause 15, determination of application for registration as quantity surveying professional. Any debate and objection? Clause 15 is agreed to. Clause 16, certificate of registration. Any debate and objection? Clause 16 is agreed to. Clause 17, disqualification from registration. Any debate and objection? Clause 17 is agreed to. Clause 18, title for registered quantity surveying profession. Any debate and objection? Clause 18 is agreed to. Clause 19, change in details. Any debate and objection? Clause 19 is agreed to. Clause 20, suspension and cancellation of registration. Any debate and objection? Clause 20 is agreed to. Clause 21, re-registration. Any debate and objection? Clause 21 is agreed to. Clause 22, prohibition of practicing without certificate. Any debate and objection? Clause 22 is agreed to. Clause 23, practicing certificate. Any debate and objection? Clause 23 is agreed to. Clause 24, renewal of practicing certificate. Any debate and objection? Clause. The Honorable Minister.
I'm given that there was supposed to be an amendment to clause 32.
Which one?
32.
Clause 22?
32.
No, we are still on 22. Okay. We'll come to that later. So we're on clause 23, practicing certificate and debate and objection. Clause 23 is agreed to. Clause 24, renewal of practicing certificate. Any debate and objection? Clause 24 is agreed to. Clause 25, suspension and cancellation of practicing certificate. Any debate and objection? Clause 25 is agreed to. Clause 26, maintenance of non-practicing quantity surveying professional on register. Any debate and objection? Clause 26 is agreed to. Clause 27, prohibition of transfer of certificate of registration or practicing certificate. Any debate and objection? Clause 27 is agreed to. Clause 28, duplicate certificate of registration or practicing certificate. Any debate and objection? Clause 28 is agreed to. Clause 29, surrender of cancelled certificate of registration or practicing certificate. Any debate and objection? Clause 29 is agreed to. Clause 30, prohibition of quantity surveying organization or quantity surveying unit practicing without registration. Any debate and objection? Clause 30 is agreed to. Clause 31, application by quantity surveying organization or quantity surveying unit for registration. Any debate and objection? Clause 31 is agreed to. Clause 32, foreign quantity surveying, providing quantity surveying services. Any debate and objection? The question is that clause 32 stands part of the bill. The Acting Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development.
I beg to move that clause 32 be amended with words as circulated.
The question is that clause 32 be amended with words as circulated. Any debate and objection? Amendment is agreed to. Clause 32 as amended. Any further debate? I put the question. The question is that clause 32 as amended stands part of the bill. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Of the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Clause 32 as amended is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 33, register. Any debate and objection? Clause 33 is agreed to. Clause 34, publication of copies of register. Any debate and objection? Clause 34 is agreed to. Clause 35, offences relating to registration, etc. Any debate and objection? Clause 35 is agreed to. Clause 36, Codes of Ethics. Any debate and objection? Clause 36 is agreed to. Clause 37, Professional Misconduct. Any debate and objection? Clause 37 is agreed to. Clause 38, Initiation of disciplinary action. Any debate and objection? Clause 38 is agreed to. Clause 39, Disciplinary Committee. Any debate and objection? Clause 39 is agreed to. Clause 40, Functions of Disciplinary Committee. Any debate and objection? Clause 40 is agreed to. Clause 41, Proceedings of Disciplinary Committee. Any debate and objection? Clause 41 is agreed to. Clause 42, Powers of Disciplinary Committee. Any debate and objection? Clause 42 is agreed to. Clause 43, Sanctions by Disciplinary Committee for Professional Misconduct. Any debate and objection? Clause 43 is agreed to. Clause 44, Report by Disciplinary Committee. Any debate and objection? Clause 44 is agreed to. Clause 45, Rules relating to disciplinary proceedings. Any debate and objection? Clause 45 is agreed to. Clause 46, Inspector. Any debate and objection? Clause 46 is agreed to. Clause 47, Powers of Inspectors. Any debate and objection? Clause 47 is agreed to. Clause 48, Enforcement Notice. Any debate and objection? Clause 48 is agreed to. Clause 49, Professional Fees. Any debate and objection? Clause 49 is agreed to. Clause 50, False or misleading statement. Any debate and objection? Clause 50 is agreed to. Clause 51, Appeals. Any debate and objection? Clause 51 is agreed to. Clause 52, Jurisdiction over acts committed outside the Republic. Sorry about that. Any debate and objection? Clause 52 is agreed to. Clause 53, Prohibition of publication or disclosure of information to an authorized person. Any debate and objection? Clause 53 is agreed to. Clause 54, Offenses by principal officers of body corporate or uncorporate body. Any debate and objection? Clause 54 is agreed to. Clause 55, Administrative penalty. Any debate and objection? Clause 55 is agreed to. Clause 56, Immunity. Any debate and objection? Clause 56 is agreed to. Clause 57, Guidelines. Any debate and objection? Clause 57 is agreed to. Clause 58, General penalty. Any debate and objection? Clause 58 is agreed to. Clause 59, Regulations. Any debate and objection? Clause 59 is agreed to. Clause 60, Repeal of Act Number 37 of 1995 and Savings and Transitional Provisions. Any debate and objection? Clause 60 is agreed to. First schedule on page 33. Any debate and objection? First schedule on page 3 is agreed to. Second schedule on page 37. Any debate and objection? Second schedule on page 37 is agreed to. Long title. Any debate and objection? Long title is agreed to. The bill will be reported to the House as having passed through the committee with amendments. Madam, I have to report to the House that the Committee of the whole House has gone through the Zambia National Public Health Institute Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 15 of 2024 with amendments.
Day for consideration of the report. Who is appointed? Day for consideration of the report.
Tomorrow, Madam Speaker.
Minister of Health. Minister of Health.
Madam Speaker, tomorrow.
Consideration of the report to be taken tomorrow, Wednesday, 4th December 2024. Next order.
Madam, I have to report to the House that the Committee of the whole House has gone through the Judiciary Administration Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 16 of 2024 without amendment.
Thank you. Day for third reading.
Tomorrow, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Third reading of the bill to be taken tomorrow, Wednesday, 4th December 2024. Next order.
Madam, I have to report to the House that the Committee of the whole House has gone through the Zambia Institute of Quantity Surveyors Bill, National Assembly Bill number 19 of 2024 with amendments.
Thank you. Day for consideration of the report.
Tomorrow, Madam Speaker.
Consideration of the report to be taken tomorrow, Wednesday, 4th December 2024. The acting leader of government business, adjournment.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the House do now adjourn.
The question is that the House do now adjourn. Any debate? Any objection? The question is agreed to. The House? Is now adjourned.
You are still watching Parliamentary television, the station that is dedicated to bringing Parliament closer to you. And the House has adjourned. Many business resumes tomorrow at 48 hours. Time now to look at the business which was considered on the floor of the House today, 3rd December 2024.
Madam Speaker did make quite a number of announcements. She did say that she has received communication to the effect that in the absence of Her Honor, the Vice President, who is attending to other government business, the Minister of Defense, Honorable Ambrose Lufuma MP, has been appointed acting leader of government business in the House from today, Tuesday, 3rd December 2024, until further notice.
Madam Speaker also did recognize the presence in the public gallery of youths from the Urban Future Project under the Consumer Unit and the Trust Society International in Jongo District. And on behalf of the National Assembly, Madam Speaker did welcome the visitors to the National Assembly of Zambia.
In the other announcement, Madam Speaker did inform the House that the National Assembly of Zambia will host the 56th Plenary Assembly session of the Southern African Development Community Parliamentary Forum SADC-PF from the 8th to the 15th of December 2024 in Livingston. As host speaker and in furtherance of her commitment to creating platforms for engaging stakeholders to discuss challenges and solutions faced by female parliamentarians and women and girls in general, Madam Speaker will hold on the margins of the 56th Plenary Assembly a special networking dinner endeavor for all female speakers and parliamentarians that will be in attendance. The dinner will be held on the 12th of December 2024.
Madam Speaker, stated that and find a common platform reducing the challenges faced by women and girls, as well as the opportunities for the retention of female parliamentarians.
And in the last announcement, Madam Speaker did remind honourable members of Parliament that on Thursday, 1st August 2024, the Honourable Minister of Mines and Development of the Minerals Regulation Commission Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2024, to a later date to allow for further consultations. Madam Speaker did inform the House that during the period of deferment, some honourable members have expressed interest to move more amendments to the bill. In this regard, and in order to accommodate all honourable members wishing to move amendments, Madam Speaker guided the House as follows.
Resumption of consideration over the committee stage over the Minerals Regulation Bill is now scheduled for Thursday, 5th December 2024. Consideration at a committee stage over the bill will start afresh. This entails that any amendments that were earlier circulated will have to be resubmitted together with any other amendments. She stated that any honourable member who wishes to move amendments shall submit their proposed amendments to the Legal Services Department, and all proposed amendments must be submitted to the Legal Services Department by 10 hours tomorrow, Wednesday, 4th December 2024.
So those were the announcements that were delivered by Madam Speaker starting at 14:30 hours when business resumed. The Acting Minister of Finance and National Planning did present the supplementary estimates number 2 of 2024. The estimates have been referred to the Expanded Planning and Budgeting Committee, and the committee is expected to present its report to the House on Friday, 6th December 2024.
The Minister of Mines and Minerals Development did move the bill titled the Geological and Minerals Development Bill, National Assembly Bill, did present rather the Geological and Minerals Development Bill, National Assembly Bill number 33 of 2024, and the bill seeks to provide for the geological survey, mapping and exploration in the public. And the bill has been referred to the to the Committee of National Economy, Trade and Labour Matters.
All right, after presentation of those bills, the House considered one question for oral answer understanding order number 82 and 4 questions for oral answer understanding order number 80. Just about now, we'll go through some of the responses that the members, the ministers actually did have for members of Parliament.
So question 143 did come from Mr. Lucas Mumba, Nakonde Member of Parliament. He wanted to find out from the Minister of Technology and Science in air whether the government is aware that some post workers are failing to meet their daily needs due to non-payment of their salaries for the past 6 months. And the Minister did say that yes, indeed, government is aware of the situation. And in answering part B, if so, what urgent measures have been taken to pay the workers their salary arrears? The Minister did highlight some of the measures that his ministry has put in place to ensure that workers are paid their salary arrears. And some of the measures include enhanced revenue regeneration, and the Minister also did say that the government has set aside 100 million kwacha in the 2025 national budget to go towards this program.
All right, so that's the only question that was considered understanding order number 82. So we move on to questions for answer understanding order number 80. Some of the responses and the questions, one of them came from Mr. Musanje of Mbabala constituency. Mr. Musanje did ask the Minister of Water Development and Sanitation how many dams have been there in Mbabala Parliamentary constituency as of April 2024. And in response, the Minister of Water Development and Sanitation did say that there were 30 dams. In the other part of the question, Mr. Musanje wanted to find out of the number at A, how many dams were breached, and the Minister did respond that 7 dams were breached. And Mr. Musanje also wanted to find out when rehabilitation of the breach dams will commence, and the minister did say that rehabilitation of the breach dams will commence in 2025 budget, which is next year, and 14 dams are actually earmarked for rehabilitation. Mr. Musanji also wanted to find out whether the government has any plans to construct Nalitura Dam that was approved in the 1990s, and the minister in response did say that government does have plans to construct Nalitura Dam, and it's just waiting feasibility studies, and once feasibility studies are done, they will kickstart the construction of the Nalitura Dam. And Mr. Chingamute also did ask a question 147, which went to the Minister of Education, and the Honourable Member of Parliament for Kalabo Central wanted to find out what factors contributed to the poor performance of grade 9 and 12 pupils in the 2023 examinations in Western Province, and what measures are being taken to improve the performance of pupils in the province. So the Minister of Education did highlight some of the causes, and he did say that COVID-19 pandemic also did contribute to the poor performance of pupils in Western Province. And all the measures being undertaken by the government to improve the performance of the pupils in the province, the minister did highlight quite a number of measures. Some of them include strengthened school leadership and also addressing learning gaps. And so those are some of the questions that were considered under Standing Order number 80. After that, we had the consideration of some government bills at different stages. The first one was the Green Economy and Climate Change Bill, National Assembly Bill number 18 of 2024. It was considered at a second reading stage. It was read the second time, meaning it has passed the second reading stage, and committee stage is expected to take place tomorrow, Wednesday, 4th December 2024. The other bill which was considered is the Plant Health Bill, National Assembly Bill number 20 of 2024, which was considered at a second reading and a committee stage to be taken in due course. And the Zambia National Public Health Institute Bill has National Assembly Bill number 15 of 2024 was considered at committee stage. It has passed this stage, and consideration of the report will be taken tomorrow, Wednesday, 4th December 2024. The Judicial Administration Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 16 of 2024 was also considered at committee stage, and third reading to be considered tomorrow, which is 4th December 2024. And the last bill that was considered at committee stage was the Zambia Institute of Quantity Surveyors Bill, National Assembly Bill number 19 of 2024. It has passed committee stage, and consideration of the report will be taken tomorrow, Wednesday, 4th December 2024. Joe? Wow, that was the business which was conducted on the floor of the House today, 3rd December 2024. On behalf of my co-presenter, Claudette Sindaza Jonga, and of course, our two sign language interpreters, Chola Kauma and Jason Manda, pleasant viewing.